Most entrepreneurs are out there burning out every single day. They're working their hardest. They're also part time. So they're still working a 9 to 5 job, all while becoming overwhelmed or getting complacent. And their goals aren't enough. Their values aren't pushing them enough. And their principles, well, they're completely getting sacrificed to any little obstacle that gets in their way. And it feels so completely overwhelming. And now there's something that many people are not telling you about how to actually build your life, build your business, especially part time. And it's not because they don't know or they're hiding something from you. It's just that there's only something that the very wealthy, the ultra successful people actually do. And in today's podcast episode, I'm going to show you and talk to you about the one paradox that very ultra successful people are actually doing and having that's keeping small part-time business owners and entrepreneurs from having the major success that they actually deserve. Why patient people fail and impatient people burn out. Here's what most people get wrong about patience. They think it's about waiting. They think patience means accepting slow progress, tolerating delay, being content with good enough. They treat patience like a virtue that requires lowering standards or accepting mediocrity. That's not patience. That is complacency. Real patience, the kind that actually helps you achieve massive goals, has nothing to do with passive waiting. It's an active, strategic choice about where you direct your expectations and how you respond when reality diverges you from your timeline. However, complacency also can be in your inability to understand where you place your patience at. And if you place your patience in the wrong place, say that 3 times fast, you're going to end up becoming complacent with specific goals or systems instead of bumping up the intensity of those goals and systems when you need them to. So let's keep going. Wait, but then because your goals don't happen on your own timeline. And oftentimes this is not because you're doing something wrong. All right. So each layer of leverage multiplies the variability. Each layer of leverage multiplies the variability. Your goals can happen much, much faster than expected, but they can also happen much, much later. And this creates what I call the leverage paradox. The very mechanisms that enable massive goal achievement also make precise timing impossible. And this is why people become patient in the wrong places and impatient in the places that they should be patient in. The no leverage alternative. So compare this to having minimal leverage, relying primarily on your own direct effort. When you're the primary source of execution and it multiplies as you go up the hierarchy of leverage. But without leverage, you've got low variability, right? It doesn't, the chances of results or the timing doesn't change much. You've got limited potential though, but you've got higher timing control. Neither is inherently better than the other. They're just different strategic positions with different implications for how you practice patience. So I really want you to understand, if you realize that you're constantly getting burned out, is likely because you're utilizing systems of no leverage, which you're relying solely on yourself, which again is fine, but you need to understand that. So if you want to not get burned out, you've got to have patience with certain systems that only you can control. But you have to be impatient with your own skill development or your own system development of what you're doing. If you've got a 9 to 5 job and you get off of work and you try to do your business, from like 6 to 9 every day and then take off on the weekends, you've got to be patient with the ability to have recovery time and with certain human fallacies. But you've got to be impatient with the focus of the time that you do have. You've got to be impatient with your direct investment. You've got to be impatient with your own ability to become better, for you to become efficient. You've got to be impatient with your process development of going through the cycle of new. So let's talk about where patience should actually live. Here's the critical insight most people miss. Your patience should never be about when the goal happens. Never be patient about when the goal happens. Your patience should be about the systems and processes that will eventually deliver the goal. These systems and processes that will eventually deliver the goal. When you're patient with timing, but impatient with execution, you become complacent. You accept slow progress as inevitable. You think, well, I only closed 2 people this month versus the 10 that I wanted to. and you make excuses for poor performance. When you're impatient with timing, but patient with execution quality, you create sustainable high performance and you refuse to accept mediocre systems. You continuously improve your processes because you're always thinking about it. You're not patient enough with it. Can it be more efficient? Can these systems be more productive? Right? You maintain standards while allowing sufficient development time. If you're leveraging systems, be patient with system development and variability. Be patient with the variability. So I want you to give yourself explicit permission to be patient in the right places and to be impatient in the right places and to increase the intensity of your goals. When you are ahead with your goals, I want you to give yourself permission to be more patient because you're pursuing something bigger. So I want you to create larger goals when you're ahead. When you're behind, I want you to give yourself permission to be less patient because I want you to demand more from your systems. When you notice that you're behind on your goal, I want you to increase the intensity of whatever that goal is. Even though it might have felt difficult, you're increasing the intensity because you're specifically looking at these systems and why they did not move fast enough for your goal to happen. Complacent patience asks, when will this finally happen? Strategic patience asks, what systems need to improve for this to happen? Complacent patience asks, complacent patience says, I'm working hard, I just need more time. Strategic patience says, I'm working hard, but these specific systems are the bottleneck. Complacent patience accepts current activity levels as sufficient, while strategic patience demands continuous improvement in execution quality. And lastly, complacent patience celebrates time spent without progress achieved, while strategic patience celebrates system improvements and milestone hits. If you find yourself having a hard time with your burnout or becoming complacent with your goals, or you find that you're not achieving the goals that you want to, or you find that it's very hard for you just to be patient with yourself, be patient with the people that are around you, or be patient with the systems that you've got, or you find yourself constantly starting a new project, starting a book, starting a project, starting an art piece, starting a new business, starting a new nonprofit, and you find that you just can't finish it. Oftentimes it's because you are patient in the wrong places, or you're impatient with yourself or the things that you should be patient with. Love yourself. Think about the systems that you've got in place right now. Think about whether or not you have been patient with them, whether you're leveraging people, capital, code, media, or permission leverage, or yourself.